Do you perhaps want to learn how to draw the human figure, but you don't know where exactly to start? You don't know what body part to start from, when to start shading, when to do this, when to do that? Don't worry. I'm going to do a general overview of the steps that you should do to be able to draw a human figure. This won't be super duper in depth, so if you're a complete beginner, you might feel a little bit rushed or lost in some places, but it's still a very good general overview, so let's get started. From what I've learned, the best part of the human body to start from when doing a full figure drawing is the head, because a lot of information is going to be there, which way it's tilted, and it's going to dictate how the rest of the figure drawing is going to look like. So for the actual head, really don't worry about it, especially considering that we're focusing on the whole body. Just draw an oval. I did like an oval with a little chin. So as I was talking, I already went on to draw the spine, which is a very important thing to draw. If you're going to be drawing it from the back, draw a spine. If you're going to be doing it from the front, just imagine a sort of spine-like line. I'm pretty sure there actually is a name for it. Just imagine a line going down from the pit of your neck all the way to your groin, and that will define where the center is and define how the body is turning. As you can see, this guy is going to be a little bit curled, just curled together. He's sitting down. I should have maybe curled him a bit more looking back at it. So that's just something to think about. And then I'm already drawing on the sides flanking lines to indicate where, the torso is going to end, how much space it's going to take up. And what they do, they all just converge in one point. This isn't anatomically accurate at all for now. So just keep watching, I'll keep adding detail and we'll get more and more accurate. Alright, so you put those two sidelines and converge them to where the middle line is. And where they end, for now, you just have to guesstimate where you think the torso will end. If it doesn't look right, make it longer, make it shorter. Just try to get a sort of length that looks fine. And then you get two other parallel lines. These ones go from the lines that you made for the neck, and then they go all the way to the hips, where you think the hips are going to be. I know this looks very weird, trust me, it's going to work. Now it's time for some actual structure, that is the rib cage. I've already placed it in here. Start at the base of the neck and go all the way down to around over halfway, a little over halfway, like 60% of the length of the torso. And for the shape itself, just think of an egg, a basic oval shape. Keep it real simple for now. Alright, so far we have the head, the rib cage, and a part of the torso done. Let's move on to the limbs for now. We need to get some deltoids, the shoulders. We're just going to put some simple ovals there for now. And for the arms, it is incredibly basic. It is literally just two lines to form a sort of basic cylinder. It's not even a cylinder for now, just to show where the arms are. And the same thing pretty much applies to the legs as well. For the legs, start them at around where the torso ends. Once again, I believe I made the torso a bit too long. That is my error, but that is still the general formula that I follow. Okay, so now I have the entire lay-in done pretty much, if you can even call it that. I only have two lines for that one further arm. So anyways, there's going to be a cut in the footage right here, and you can see it's a lot harder to see what I've just drawn because I erased a lot of these lines to make them fainter, and now I'm going to go over it again with some more confident lines that I believe this time that, okay, yeah, I'm satisfied with where the shoulder is. So I'm going to draw a thicker, more confident line. And I'm also looking at my reference and trying to find the more subtle anatomy details, because in that first lay-in of, say, the arm, I mean, there's very little information there. Like, I didn't really put the bicep or the tricep there. So I'm not really thinking about the deep anatomical knowledge here. I'm not like recalling what I've learned about, oh, this is how the tricep is built. I'm just looking at the reference and seeing how the curves of his body join together to form the tricep, stuff like that. I just look at the reference and go from there rather than trying to use some deeper anatomical knowledge, which for now I think that would just complicate things, so I stick to something simpler. So that skill doesn't even need like deep anatomy knowledge, more just observation skills. Now that I've got most of the basic anatomy, like, I don't know, the lats, the biceps, the forearms, stuff like that, I'm moving on to not laying in, mapping the shadows. So I'm just going to divide the body into two areas, halftones and lights. That's like in the one camp, and the other camp is shadows. So I'm just going to go with hopefully a more subtle line. I used a bit of a thicker one here to determine where the shadows are. I look at my reference and like, okay, yeah, this underside of the arm is going to be dark. So I just put a little line there. Try not to make the line too sharp. Try to make it a bit of a thicker, more sort of gradient line. because a lot of the times the shadows will gradually become darker and darker instead of just they magically turn dark at one given line. So after I separate the drawing into lights and shadows, or more like shadows and then halftones and lights, I start to map in the shadows. Because this was a quicker drawing, I kind of just did one simple tone instead of like different varying ones for the shadows. And then as you can see for the halftones, I will look at my reference and then I'll gradually go lighter and lighter away from the dark. So I start at the dark and then on the other side there's the halftones. Those halftones closest to the shadows will often be the darkest, and then as they turn more and more to the light, they're obviously going to get lighter. So that's what I do. I just do a pass across the whole drawing. I also give this guy some hair and shade it very slightly, kind of add some detail to his face because he looked kind of weird. He looked like a mannequin without it. So that is pretty much it. Very simple, hour and a half long exercise. Very useful. That is the basic step by step. If you're really new, you might get a bit confused by this. Hopefully not. I hope you guys found it useful and not too confusing. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in a week.